Alabama won an epic game against the Georgia Bulldogs on Saturday. Now they got to focus on Vanderbilt. And one thing that we're seeing about Kalen DeBoer and this 2024 edition of the Crimson Tide are that star freshmen are players. And they're guys that are getting experience. And they're guys that are dependent to make plays. And they did that last week. I want to bring on Marquise Lundquist, the secondary coach, to talk about that. And we're going to chew on what he's saying and why these freshmen are so good. Like and subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and give us a roll tide, man. That's a way of doing it. Right here on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. Let's get this thing going. The football season is a grind, everybody. I mean, we know that. This is just the way it is. And what we've seen in the past at Alabama and other schools is that for a true freshman to get on the field, they really have to earn the trust of the coach. And Nick Saban and Bear Bryant and, some of the greats of all time at Alabama have been hesitant to use true freshman players and sometimes even redshirt freshman players. But this year, some of it's because of circumstance, and some of it's because of talent. But the true freshmen are making an enormous impact on this football team. And we can all sit here and talk about what Ryan Williams did for Alabama in that game, the wide receiver who is a true freshman. We've gotten into this before, but just some of the most electric plays that we've ever seen, but also game-winning plays. And forget about all of the stuff that we talk about with him. The fact is that he's a true freshman, but he has been, maybe he's earned it, but he's been put in a position to succeed. And you got to give this coaching staff a lot of credit for that. Now, remember at the end of the game, Xavier Brown, who we kept hearing about during fall practice, we knew that he was going to be a player in this game. And it wasn't his best game, but he made the biggest play of the game because he made the interception that iced it for the Crimson Tide. But this is a strategy that this coaching staff has implicated. And that is that we're going to see these true freshmen get out on the field. So I want to bring this up, and I want you guys to hear from Coach Lundquist about that, using these young players. And then we're going to kind of, build on what he's saying as we look at this roster.
I think number one, for a guy to be on the football field, there has to be trust. There has to be trust that we believe he's at the standard that we need him to be at to execute and do his job. If we have multiple players that are proving throughout the week in practice that can do their job, the deeper that we can make our roster, we believe the better ultimately. And you get experience through actually going out there in the game. You got to prove that you can do it in practice, but when you do it in the game, one rep can turn into two can turn into four. We know that when you play long seasons, at times we're going to be called upon to maybe not have necessarily our star players go out there and do well for us. It may be an unlikely hero. It may be maybe a depth guy or a guy that's taking backup reps in August that we're going to rely upon maybe in October, November, December to go out there and make a play for us. So we're trying to always continue to find ways to build depth on our roster, and we're doing that with practice reps and also game day experience. And if you're earning the right by way of execution to be on that football field and the 10 other guys can trust you, we want to have the deepest team possible going into the later parts of the season.
And that's it right there, man. I mean, when you talk about what this coaching staff has brought with Kalen DeBoer, we're not burying guys on the bench anymore. If you go and practice, it may be a play, it may be 2 plays, it may be 3 plays, but think about the mentality of this. How disappointing is it when you practice all week, you feel like you can help the team, and you don't get an opportunity to get out on the football field? What are you working towards this part of the season? And we saw guys buried on the bench at Alabama, wondering, why isn't this guy getting a chance? Or why haven't we seen this guy? I mean, think about, Najee Harris being on the bench forever. And then finally they brought him in, and think how good he was. You don't think he could have played earlier than he did? Last year, where was Justice Haynes? And, we're watching guys like Roydell Williams who, they're okay players, but not great, and that's proved with their new destination at Florida State. But why weren't these guys in the game? Why weren't we seeing more Jam Miller? Because that's the way that it was always done there. That was the Saban way. I mean, you were going to earn that, and then you were going to be there, and the freshmen weren't going to play a lot. And so now, I said before that part of it is just the mentality that Kalen DeBoer brings with him, and that is, if you practice hard, we want to get these guys a reward, and the reward is putting the uniform on, running out on the field, and being able to play. And what they're hoping to do is, first, not get beaten by that guy, where the player goes out there and makes a play and is a welcome addition, gives somebody a breather. They come in and do their thing. But the other thing is, when you need that player, you're not putting them out there for the first time with no experience. They're gaining experience. You're paying closer attention to what is talked about in the film sessions and then in the coaching, and because you're invested in it. And I love that. And the word is invested. These guys are invested because they're getting an opportunity. And we saw that with the secondary. Zabian Brown, hey, we knew he was going to play. Jalen Mbakwe, another true freshman, we knew he was going to play. Zay Mincy, I mean, you're putting these guys out there and you're saying, hey, we need you guys to step up and do some things. You know, not everyone is Damani Jackson, who transferred in from USC and has been a real rock for Alabama, but he's also helping these guys and leading them, helping them learn the way of being out there and playing. But it really is developing at a position that, remember last year when T-Rob, went to Georgia, and then, they all the players that he coached were leaving with him to different places. And then all of a sudden you turn around and it's like, hey, this whole cornerback room is gone. We've lost our best safety ever, and we had to start over from scratch. Well, they've done an excellent job of that in the transfer portal. They've coached those guys up. Coach Lindquist has done a fantastic job. And through thick and thin, we're starting to see this group grow and develop. And if, look, it's really tough against a great team for them to just basically have to take 4 chances, get 4 downs the entire game. And Alabama forced turnovers in the game, could have forced more, missed some opportunities. But at the end of the day, they won the football game, and it was a true freshman that made the biggest play on defense. So I thought that was exciting. And I also felt like that was something that we needed to highlight here as we take a step towards Vanderbilt. And that step is, now what? Where are we with this team? Well, they've passed every test. First game of the season, hey, you know what? This offense is going to be pretty good. Second game, struggled against South Florida and then had a barrage. Like, reminded me of the old Bobby Bowden Florida State's at the end of that game. They'd keep it close, and then all of a sudden they'd score 4 touchdowns on you, your head spinning, and a game that you thought was close, you got blown out, right? Then on the road, how's this team going to respond on the road? Going to Wisconsin, this could be a tough matchup. The jump around. Wisconsin has been pretty much a upper echelon, not elite, but upper echelon Big Ten school. Great coach and Luke Fickell. Go in there and blow those guys out of the water. Then come back and play Georgia, the team that everybody in the media wanted to crown the champs. Just like last year, they wanted to crown them the champs before they actually went and played the games. And Alabama won what I figured was, another really epic win over Georgia. And they've had few of those. When you win, you're like you're 9-1 against the team. That's pretty much what happens. You find a way to win, they find a way to lose. And that's what happened for Alabama. But these true freshmen stepped up. So now the next test for these guys is going to Vanderbilt and being ready to dominate and dominate on the road. Look, we're going to take over the stadium, guys. And you know that. We'll be there and we'll take over the stadium. We'll crush their fan base because all the Bama people are going to show up. But it's still their stadium. And this is a Vanderbilt team that you got to take serious. And that's why they put the rat traps around. Hey, man, you know what? Rat poison, rat traps. Be ready to play. Be ready to respect your opponent and get ready, because these guys are coming in and they almost beat Missouri, and they think that they're going to be able to take you out. And what a program win it would be if they were able to do that. But what we're looking at now is how you transition. How do you go from winning a big game to the next game and avoid a letdown? So that's what's fun about this season, the next step. But so far, A+. DeBoer recruiting. DeBoer engaging the alumni. Winning over the fan base. Obviously recruiting, which is something that we'll probably say 10 times in here, because that was the thing that people didn't think he could do. And then you keep going down the list, and he's done it all, right? Win the big game. Now he's got to be able to win the games that you're supposed to win. Nick Saban was the best I've ever seen at doing it, and we'll find out how that is. Okay, a couple things, guys. Some business. The Tailgate show is going to be recorded in Nashville at Live Oak on Friday. Live Oak Bar. It's in the Gulch, in the Gulch. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We got Taylor Hicks, the American Idol and, an Alabama singer-songwriter. He's going to join us. Our friend Kevin Sport, who's going to be there as well. They're part of that Gating and Grilling segment. Big Sexy Elmo is scheduled to be there. Jake Coker, the national championship quarterback, will be there, and I'll be there too. And we hope that you guys, we'll have some other guests there as well, but we want you to come by and hang out with us if you're in Nashville, and pass the word out that we're going to be there, and we look forward to hanging out with you guys. The other thing is that we're brought to you by Pearl River Resort over in Philadelphia, Mississippi. Make sure you take advantage of Pearl River. It's they've got Golden Moon Casino in there, the sports book. That's like a Vegas-style sports book. Got 20 big screen TVs, got the big bar. They've got all the major sports packages. Major League Baseball playoffs are going right now. Hey, go in there and lay a bet on that. College football, the NFL, NASCAR, which I'm telling you is one of the most fun sports to bet on is NASCAR. Go in there, put the money down with your buddies, watch the race, get a few beers at the bar. They've got the kiosk, which is manned by a person, the table. They've got individual booths that you can go in there and use as well. And if you spend $50 at the sports book, you can play Dancing Rabbit for just $40. So take advantage of that as well. And I think you'll have a good time. Now, the other thing is I got a feeling that this guy's brush is about to get going again, and that is our friend Daniel Moore at newlifeart.com. 20% off when you use the promo code Bama Tailgate. And I thank you guys for using that promo code Bama Tailgate. You have made this a lot of fun when I go in there and I hear about all the great pictures and stuff that you guys have used to pimp out your man caves. Keep doing it. All right. Can't wait for Friday. It's going to be so much fun. And appreciate all you guys for hanging out with us here on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. And we will talk to you again tomorrow. And, hey, I mean it when I say this. Roll Tide.